in 3 to 5 years, basically 90% of the content online is going to be AI generated. So what's new? So the only way to do that is to get on video or have a podcast.
Have a location.
Yeah, have a location. Yeah, you become something, right?
Constructing your life is about much more than just building a bank account. Each week, join real estate entrepreneur and mindset coach Austin Linney as he interviews guests who are constructing their dream lives and impacting the world around them on a daily basis. If you're an entrepreneur or wanting to start a business, or you just want to hear motivating stories of how others have overcome the odds, you are in the right place. And now for your host, Austin Linney.
Guys, welcome back. Construct Your Life. This is Austin Linney. I got my man, Brad Smith, in the house. How are you doing, sir?
What's up, Austin? Thanks for having me on.
You got it, man. Appreciate it. So we're doing our new format, guys, where he's got a personal problem, a business problem, or a business brainstorm idea, and then he's going to dump it on me right now, and we have no idea. So what we got?
Well, this is going to be awesome. So it's a business idea that's actually in the process of starting to come together.
Yes.
So we're opening our first office here locally in Wilmington.
Okay.
And Austin, you and I talked. There's nothing like shaking somebody's hand.
Yep.
You can do that online at scale, but when you really meet someone face to face. So half's going to be our office. The other half we're calling the content house. Mm-hmm. The content house is going to be 4 different rooms for video, podcasting, and for local people to come in, rent it out, but also allow me to build that relationship with them. Well, here's the business idea.
Yeah.
If I can prove concept here, I would like to do that in multiple states.
Okay. I love it. So have you heard about Howie Mandel?
Yep, I know Howie.
Okay. So you know that business model he's doing out in Vegas? Okay.
Nope.
So he has a podcast studio, 100 plus podcasters go in his big factory. Yep. So study him, find out about his business. That's number one. I was at Main Street Summit, and Tim Sweetman introduced me to a church who produced 6 podcasts out of their place. They had a studio. It was absolutely amazing. I love this idea moving forward. I think it's a huge business idea. So the way that it works, I think, is that it's more, and this is like weird because it took me like 1,000 podcasts to realize this. It's more about the lighting, right? Than anything, right? And I think that, aesthetically, if you could change it, right, there's different things. So if you're telling me, so here's the only issue I've ever had, and I'm just talking about me personally. I'm thinking through this. You have to make the studio feel so comfortable that people can get vulnerable, feeling like it's their space. Because sometimes it feels kind of stuffy. Like my podcast producer was like, you weren't yourself. Like, so I feel comfortable at home. Right. Yep. But so now here's the question. Would you also, cause you're you and you're amazing at automating stuff, would you automate production too? So would they literally just a host show up, rent out the space, and then boom, you would do the production of the podcast as well too?
Yeah, 100%. Cause it's all going to be video based. It's not just audio. So it'll be on video, pushing for YouTube, which then builds content for us, but then we can replicate and give them that content back.
So I will say something, and I'm going to get you to qualify, because what I'm going to say, I need you to qualify. Explain to people briefly what you do, why this makes so much sense.
So actually, we do automation for people. We set up their CRMs, automated emails, and retargeting ads. So a business just keeps doing what they're doing, but we build the system so they follow up with their leads forever.
So this is why I'm so excited. This is why you're good at what you do. I've seen this done by other people that don't do what you do, and it's too hard of a reach. This is a vertically integrated no-brainer for you, because the way I would look at it, let's say you're me, right? And I trust you and we have a good relationship. Okay. The way I would look at it is I would come to Wilmington for a week and I would book it out and I would film all my content for a week and then I would just leave.
Exactly.
And then, I mean, it's so in my opinion, it's a no-brainer idea. What I think's even better is, and I'm just spitballing here, you could rent it out to photo shoots. There's a marketing company, my buddy's doing the same thing. There's different layers, right? You don't want to get complicated, but because your business is what your business is, you could sell it in packages. I mean, it just makes so much sense for what you're already doing. How long have you had this idea?
So it actually goes back to 8 years ago, Austin. When I started online business, I couldn't get customers. I was making it all about myself. Mm-hmm. So I said, all right, how can I make it about the business owner? So that's actually when I started my first podcast. And I called it Relationship Marketing as a way for me to build relationships with business owners.
Yep.
Funny enough, 40% of the few hundred guests became customers over the years since then because I followed up and stayed in touch. So here's a few things. Reverse engineer it. I technically don't even need to make money from the content house because I know they're going to turn into customers at some point. Also, reverse engineer it again. I always tell businesses you got to have videos to build better relationships with your clients. Mm-hmm. Well, they're not comfortable getting on camera and doing it by themselves. I can give you all the best coaching in the world, and 90% won't ever do it. So having this content house to help them get on camera, help them make their videos without them having to be nervous, that's just going to explode their business even more. So 8 years I've had this idea.
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm sitting here and I'm kind of blown away because and I love it, okay, on so many levels. But I've seen people do it and it doesn't last because they don't have the component that you have already. Yeah. Like you couldn't have done the podcast thing first and then tried to build what you have. It doesn't work that way. But because you had here's what I believe in this world moving forward. Okay. There's two things that I believe in more than anything. Being authentically you, especially with AI, that's number one. And the second is I think the king of everything moving forward is distribution. It's distribution 100%. Of ideas, distribution of getting the information out there. And if I'm a business, I think that you can have a podcast, and I think a million people could do a podcast, but I think that because the production quality is so important, but also knowing how to do everything holds a lot of people back from doing a podcast. So if this opens up an avenue from somebody doing it that they can't see them doing it themselves, then I think all we're doing is adding more value into the world. You're saying, Austin, well, I don't want another podcast. Yeah, but that doesn't mean there's not podcasts for everybody. And so the idea I'm obsessed with that nobody's taking me up on except apparently John Matzner. I think the new thing for businesses, especially as they scale, multiple location businesses, is internal podcast.
Yes.
I think it's the easiest way to get distribution of information out. And I think you can bring on guests. And I think you could also teach them while they're in their car. Think of all the techs, the garage people, the roofers, the HVAC people that are driving all day. You could be teaching them in the car.
Easy. Turn that audio on, teach them something, business tip.
Yeah. And so what aspects of this do you think is going to be the hardest for you to execute on?
I think the distribution after the fact.
Yeah.
So, that's where it's going to be time consuming. And the biggest question is, okay, yeah, you just said Howie Mandel's proved it in Vegas. Cool. Mm-hmm. We proved that. But can you have the same brand in multiple locations? Yeah, if we do it right the first time, right? But once you start distributing, I'm helping you. You're not comfortable on video. You're nervous, but you can surely get on a podcast. But what if I send you 5-10 clips back and say, hey, go use this on your social media channels?
Sure.
Well, now I'm going to get more pushback. Well, where should I post it? Well, I don't like that scene. Can you edit that? So I think the whole business planning around that, no, you get 5 to 10 clips. There's no editing, and go hire this company to post it on social media for you. If they can't make their own video, they're probably not posting on social consistently either. So it's going to be a bunch of stuff coming after that.
I think the hardest thing for you is just what you said, is knowing your boundaries. I think that's going to be the hardest thing for you because it's a slippery slope. The social media part is the part that kills my podcast producer. He will not do it. Those are the things. And so in my opinion, what I would be doing if I were you is I would be vetting 3 social media companies that you trust, know, and like, and I would go ahead and have that relationship because you're very successful at what you do, and I understand your heart behind it. I know where your heart's at in your head, but I also think that it could slide off the rails really quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Because
to the point
the funniest thing about marketing that my business partner always says, it's the easiest way to get sticky and it's the easiest way to get fired.
That's true. You get fired so fast. You're the first one to get fired.
Yep, 100%. What were you going to say?
I mean, even the distribution part, like essentially we could take that SD card and send it to the person we refer as well. We don't do any of that.
Yeah.
So we just have the SD card and we don't go farther than that.
I think that you 100% view yourself as a B2B, not a B2C.
Yep.
I think if you live there, I think you'll be safe. I think if you don't, I think you'll turn your own life into a nightmare.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's talk about marketing it as well, because I'm interviewing these people. I'm helping them produce content, but also I can use that to do two things or both. I can use it to keep promoting my marketing, my CRM agency,
sure,
or use those clips to promote the content house for the future cities as well.
Yeah, I think that one of the things I'm obsessed with, and I'm in the process of doing it, I wouldn't say quickly, but I think that people don't think about. So I'm taking, God, when I say it on camera, I have to do it. This sucks, but oh well. So I'm taking my Friday rants, which are my thoughts that I have, and I took 52 of them, and I took the transcripts, and I'm turning it into a book. And it's going to have a journal with it, and you're going to have a QR code that links you to the podcast episode. And so what you're getting, in my opinion, is a front row seat to a couple things. One, a vault of content, an easy way to meet people, a distribution of ideas and people and concepts. But what you're also getting is you're becoming a lighthouse for a community of people. And I think that's going to be the dividend that really shows through. And it's not going to show up overnight, but I think that is going to be the ultimate thing. You know, there's a group, different but the same. There's a group out in Nashville called Songhouse, right? He's very open about, you know, kind of the struggles of them scaling the last couple of years. But those are bringing an amazing group of people together to write and collaborate songs. And I think you're kind of doing the same thing because, okay, what I would do if I were you is I would create a vehicle where people came in and did their podcast, but then I, Brad, twice a month would host an entrepreneurship roundtable podcast of all those people. And now you've kind of created your own podcast through that. And now you have a, you know, standard audience already from their podcast groups. So now you've expanded your group and kind of boom.
Okay, good. Because not that, but specifically planning on hosting a monthly workshop, inviting them all back in for the workshop.
100%
for content.
100% for content. Because one of the things I watched the other day was Alex Hormozi's Q&A at one of his workshops. I thought it was one of the best piece of content he's put out because not only did he answer the question of the person, he also talked about it behindhand. Like, because I think that's what we want is like, I feel like this is what I feel like with content these days. I feel like people are consuming, but they're not getting their questions answered.
100%.
I think we've become, they're saying, yeah, but I don't understand. You're making $100 million a year. Basically why we started. Look, you don't know this about me, but I'm 6 years sober, right? And I made a promise to myself, thank you, that I would never forget what it felt like to be sober the first day.
That's incredible.
I think so much of these content creators, they've gotten so high, they forgot what it was like. And in theory, those people can't relate. The biggest episode I ever had on my podcast was a single mom who beat alcohol addiction.
Wow.
Like,
story. Giving tips. I'm sure.
Relatable.
Did you guys talk about like actionable tips somebody could take?
How she got sober. It's relatable. You know, they tell everybody, like the guy that has 2,000 apartment complex, that's a great concept, but let's talk to the guy that has one unit. How'd he get it?
Love it. Right.
And so I think that's and perfect example is like, what I know about you is this and I'm just saying, cause I just listened to it in preparation for this. You gave actionable advice. You gave it with no ego, and you generally feel like you care about people learning. Like that right there. Like do that over every video for the foreseeable future, and you'll be fine.
Now that leads into two things coming up here. One, I want to talk about that action item on how it played off for me on YouTube and my success right now. Followed up with the exact questions that I need your help brainstorming on the interview questions with people on the podcast in real life. Quickly, YouTube, everyone, if you read comments, you'll see under someone's YouTube channel, it took 10 minutes and you still haven't gotten to the point yet. So it's theory-based, motivational-based, hype-based. So I said, I'm going to be different. I want to just say, hey, log in, click this button. That's what you get. That my YouTube channel has exploded since I turned my videos into actionable, educational, step-by-step advice. And I think more and more people should do that. Just get to the point, tell them how to do it, because 99% of people won't take the time to go do it on their own. When they realize that, they'll call you because you're the one that told them how to do it. Leading into...
I just got another idea for your thing. It just came out of nowhere. Dude, I'm sorry. I got to jump in here. The real kicker for you and the vehicle is you have a tangible audience and you have a tangible distribution channel that I think is the hardest thing to get, is going to be the easiest thing to get for you, is the sponsorships.
Yeah. What if I don't need them or want them?
Amazing. Then you're good. But what I'm saying is it could be omnipresent sponsorship. So it could be the mic equipment and everything. So you could keep the sponsorship out, but now they have a guaranteed audience. I didn't want to interrupt, but it just came out of nowhere. So go.
No, I like that. I'm going to get your advice on that after later on when we talk more.
Yeah.
By the way, I know you like relatable stuff, which is why I love this podcast. It's hailing outside. So let's see how this internet holds up.
No, you're good. You're good. Hang in there. Yeah, we're in the bunker.
Hang in there. I know. I'm going to the bunker, turning my 5G on. So I don't like listening to podcasts or watching YouTube videos that are theory based. And what attracted me to your podcast here, Austin, is you said this is going to be different. This is just going to be actionable. We're going to talk, build that relationship, and work together on this podcast. I love that. Listen to other podcasts, and it's what's your story? How long have you done this? And it's just getting boring now. There's too many out there. So how can I pull that story out of my guest in this content house, but keeping it actionable and not boring as well? That's going to be tough.
It is. It's going to be, you're going to have to somewhat be a coach a little bit, because their success is your success. That's where it gets tricky, right?
Yep.
One of my favorite things, do you know who Oren Swift is?
No.
So Oren Swift is like pardon me. That's a winemaker. That's from a different life. No,
I should know that.
Oren Swift created Prisoner. Oren Claff wrote Pitch Anything, Flip the Script. Okay, and he is the king deal maker. I mean, this guy like sells airports and like stuff. Like, it's just crazy stuff. But what he talks about is he used to go into these big pitch meetings, and he said when people weren't paying attention, he would tell a story about their plane losing altitude. And then he would go into the story and go, so we all had to put on the air mask. And then he goes, so in quarter 4 and quarter 3, and he would just go in and finish his pitch. And he would get done and try to walk out the room. They'd go, you gonna tell the story about what happened? You put on the air mask? And he goes, oh yeah, we survived. And he just walks out.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
And, dude, and so you're 100% correct in what you're saying. You're talking to a guy who's done 1,200 podcasts in the last 5 years.
Wow.
It's become boring. The reason I shifted it is because I wanted to stop going, what's your story? What did you learn from it? Blah, 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 blah. That doesn't do anything anymore because there's too much out there. And so I think that's 100% true. I think we have to come into logic. So I wonder if you're going to have to be extremely disciplined on vetting the idea of the podcast. You're going to have to make sure it's broad enough for it to matter for long enough. You're going to have to make them commit to the consistency, because that's more important than anything. And then you're almost going to have to be a little bit of a coach, for lack of a better word, or bring in a coach to get them off the ground. I think the number one thing in podcasting is once they have an idea, they have to stick to it. This isn't like if you're going to, like, I mean, this is how serious I would be about it. If you commit to a production schedule and you miss it twice, you're out. You're out. I think you have to be that militant about it, because here's the problem. Let's say you have 5 people come through, and within 5 episodes, 3 of them get out. That's not it's bad on them, but it's almost worse on you.
Oh yeah.
So that's there's gonna have to be deep parameters.
And also on the distribution as well. If I don't get the right information from them, if they're self-promoting, talking about how great they are, that distribution and those content pieces after the fact are going to be worthless. So I need to pull the right information, the step-by-step action items from them during that interview to use for the distribution. So it's actually effective for them as well.
And then also the question that you have to ask yourself is, what is your right to the distribution of their content? That's going to have to be agreed upon ahead of time too.
It does. And so is it a strict yes policy? I get all content.
There's a lot there, right? Because then do you have access to their email list? Like, there's a lot there, right? There's going to have to be a lot of trust built. You're going to need a wild card to come in first to kind of work it out.
Yep.
I'm obsessed right now, and this is probably the exact opposite thought process for the automation guy, but I'm obsessed with scaling the unscalable. Okay. And I don't mean that in everything. I mean, the way that I view marketing right now for my businesses and what we're trying to do in the Proactive Operators consulting firm is I want to act like I'm 1980s marketing.
Love it.
I want to shake the hands. I'm Southwest Airline when they just got started. Like I'm gonna turn over every rock. I'm giving out free coaching. I'm going to men's groups. Like every little thing. Like I'm just helping as many places as I can, because I think it's more about creating momentum of energy than it is about like, I have boundaries around, when I'll come on a call and all this stuff. But I think that we've gotten lazy with our distribution and our marketing personally.
100%. I mean, if you look at it, people post on social media with their AI generated images. You're the one that's going to be sitting at a coffee shop shaking hands with a guy. So that's going to stick out.
My business partner made a great comment. He said, look, in 3 to 5 years, basically 90% of the content online is going to be AI generated. So what's new? So the only way to do that is to get on video or have a podcast.
Have a location.
Yeah, have a location. Yeah, you become something, right? I said this to Kevin. You're basically, you have 2 choices in life. You become a one-hit wonder, or you can become a songwriter. A one-hit wonder is going to have a quick attention, and everybody's going to love them, but then everybody's going to leave. A songwriter is going to have fans that are loyal. By you creating I've always thought this, you're becoming basically the TV host of a lot of different kind of walks of life. There's no telling what could open up for you. But I love the idea of this, and it's harder to pull off, but easier to do in the long run. Smaller and more, right? So I think that if you had 4, you had 1 in Texas, 1 on the West Coast, 1 on the East Coast, and then 1, wherever in the Northeast. I think I would rather do that if I could pull it off than 1 big one.
More locations. People don't have to travel. Traveling is a little bit harder.
Mm-hmm. And then,
that's what we're thinking.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go. And then also provide discounts to anybody that's willing to book it out for the day to go ahead and film all their stuff.
Okay,
so when I started the podcast, like my life was falling apart, and I'm a lunatic, so I didn't know people didn't do this. I was doing 7 to 9 podcast interviews a day.
That's crazy.
For like 11 months. So
wow.
So incentivize that person to manage their stuff better and go ahead and film a bunch of content, give them a discount. Then know it's rented out for the day. You're doing the same thing all day. You don't have to change it up.
All right. Think about scalability. Going 4 locations. We're starting to scale it. It's looking good. But more and more people, they don't want to host their own show. They want to pay me to come have me interview them for the distribution. That means I got to be at 4 locations.
Yeah, I like that. And your time is very valuable too. So that's tricky.
Yep.
But I mean, you could have a host to host.
Have a host at every location.
Yeah, you could have a host at every location. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Train them. I mean, I could start it. I could go to that location for a few months and start it. Move on to the next one.
I think that the thing that's missing in most hosting is they don't ask the right questions.
Yep.
And so if you train them on the right questions, then like they're going to get the most out of people. Like one of the greatest things I've ever read was a book called The Coaching Habit. You could knock it out in like 2 hours. It's super easy. It's 7 questions. But he says,
Okay.
you want to know the most powerful question in the world? And what else?
Oh, I like that.
Right. And so I think that a lot of people they don't invoke trust, so then they don't get the second layer.
Yep. And what else? I just did the Uno card on you.
Yeah, you did. I think because you don't want to do sponsors, and I like that. I think the power play here is to go equipment sponsors.
Yeah.
Straight up.
I have affiliate for software, so I always include those. So I have plenty of affiliate software, so then we go into equipment because people are going to want to start their own then, right?
Yeah, they're going to want to start their own. I think it's easy to get sponsorship that way. I think it's easy to
the social media referral after.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many branches that fall off. I would also something different but the same. I would make sure that you had an area with video games and kids. So maybe even a babysitter.
Ah, smart.
Yeah,
with a padded, quiet room.
Yes, yes. Dude, I met a guy who was pumping out, I think, 30,000 water heaters a year, 100-year-old company. He had a masseuse on staff, a babysitter, and a gym in the office.
Smart.
I mean,
quality.
It's just like those are the things that you got to think about. So, like, if how many parents want to do a podcast? Maybe like their family wants to come join, but they're not in the podcast. There's just so much there. So.
Husband and wife podcasts are getting popular.
Yes, I love that.
Yep.
So,
yep.
All right. Anything more you can think of before we get out of here?
Well, let's see. Well, I guess the last thing is branding. So if I'm not going to be able to be at every location every day, it's not going to be my face. So it needs to be a logo.
Yeah.
And maybe we use the guest as the branding in the content.
No, I think you want to own it.
Oh. Yeah.
I think you want to own it. I think for you and your lifestyle, what you want to create, I think you create a logo based on the city that you're in to give it the style and the flair of that city.
Nice.
I think that's the way to go. I'm obsessed with branding. So I think you would have an umbrella brand above it. And then I think you would have an individual brand each location. So if one didn't produce the way you wanted to, you could cut it loose.
Essentially sell a location, franchise a location.
Correct. Yeah.
So many options.
One of the ideas I came up with, I heard from a developer a while back, was they were going to do a mixed-use, multi-development, big thing, shopping, farmers market, the whole nine. But it was in Nashville. They were going to create a podcast studio there where artists that couldn't do a full production could film their songs there, and then they would play them over the loudspeaker at the development.
That's awesome.
So I mean, there's so much to glean from that.
Yeah.
So I think that's where we're headed. I think production prices are going down, and I think people that maybe didn't have an opportunity before are going to be able to really do it. Okay, here's take it to the next level. All the people that sign up at your place, they have to pay a 5% charge, and that is a scholarship gifted to a high school student to start a podcast there for free.
Love it. So we do have a nonprofit that helps families in needs. So we'll throw it in with that.
Yeah, I just think something like that is just like a no-brainer.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
How many? Because there's a huge popular college down the road, and I know podcasting's 15, 20 years late, but it's just getting popular now to the everyday person.
Yeah, because my big long-term plan is to create a fund and an incubator of all the people I know to coach middle school and high school kids in their business ideas. That's my long-term goal.
That's cool.
Because I think that I don't think that businesses understand the impact that they have on a small community and how much they can really make weight. So if you had that kind of avenue, because you've already got their built-in guests too right away.
Yeah.
Because they would just go on and so yeah, I would definitely add that component for sure.
All right, I'm in.
So if people want to reach out,
let's see where it's going to be at in the next year.
I can't. I'm ready to film content. I'm ready. So if people want to reach out to you, they want to find you, how would they do that?
Social media, I'm on there as Brad Smith Coach. And then our website, automationlinks.com. But definitely follow on my favorite right now is X, Twitter, which is where we met. So you'll go follow along with the journey of the office coming together. My wife is redesigning the whole place now. So we're about a month in, 2 more weeks to go. So if you want to see the before and afters, I got a really cool video that I'll film. I already filmed the before part. So on YouTube, it's Brad Smith. So you'll see the before and after video coming out in a few weeks.
Well, it's awesome. Well, guys, check out his YouTube channel. You won't. It's just so good because it's done. It's actionable. There's education. And if you're a business owner and you really need to, more importantly, you don't want to figure out how to automate, he's going to do it for you. So send it to a friend, share it around, rate us and review us, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for having me on.